we're going to talk about what it was like quarantining here and handling the coronavirus in South Korea. I haven't seen the bottom half of anybody's face in a long time. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kayla Alexandria, and I am here with my friends.
My name's Lisa, London.
Hello, Kat. In this video, we are still in South Korea, and we are going to talk about what it was like quarantining here and handling the coronavirus in South Korea. We weren't really here for like the popping off of the coronavirus in Korea.
Keep yourself.
You were brought to.
I came back.
I first heard about the virus in like January, and I was in Seoul with my cousin. Shout out to Tiffany. We were in Seoul, and her mom was kind of like, you know, have you guys heard about this? What's going on in the news? You guys should probably wear your masks as you're out and about and such. So we were, you know, kind of concerned, but we were still traveling at the time. I went to visit her and then went to South Africa. So for me, things really popped off while I was in South Africa, that I started like seeing things on the news in February. And I got really nervous, and I was like, is this even a good time for me to go back to South Korea? Because I think we had something like 5 cases, and then it skyrocketed overnight, and my family was calling me. My parents were like, are you going back to Korea? My brothers were like, pack your stuff up and come back to Canada. And I was like, I'm not even in Korea right now to see what, like, what's going on. But then I got here and I was kind of like, oh, we're chilling.
Yeah, literally.
When did you guys hear about the virus? Like, what was the first time that you were like, this is serious?
I think for me it was when I was in Thailand, and like it was just like constant. Even actually no, when I was leaving Korea, and like everyone was masked up and all the masks started selling out. I had my mask as well because I haven't paid that. So then and then when we got to Thailand, I would wear my mask in Thailand, and Thailand's hot. It was cold in Korea, it was kind of cold in Korea. Yeah, because it rained and it snowed in New Year's. So it was cold in Korea, and then being in Thailand wearing your mask. Oh my gosh, it was so hard. But they didn't implement it. You didn't have to wear your mask. I was wearing it because I know, like, okay, it's real.
Yeah.
But everyone else was wearing it. So, you know, when I was feeling spicy, I'll take it off. Take it off and risk my life, basically.
That's my favorite term, when I'm feeling spicy.
I love it. For me, I realized Corona was a big thing. I want to say like February, like around the time I left. But in January, I was the last one to leave and go on vacation. And most of us were teaching at camp. And my camp actually stopped because there was 2 cases pretty close to where we live. So they stopped, but things were still going. And then when we went up in the Philippines, no one was wearing masks. We were chilling. And then when I got to Singapore, people were wearing masks, and that's when I was like, okay, I'll just put mine on. Like seeing maybe like 1 out of 10 people as you're walking have one on, that was significant to me. And I want to say once I got to Thailand, which was like, she was already back here. So once I got to Thailand, I was hearing how it was for her. That's when I was like, damn. Because by then, it was like, what, like 2,000 cases here. In like 6 weeks, just blew up.
Yeah.
Blew up. So that's when.
It was definitely, it was popping off here more than like, I think we were like the number 2 country.
Yeah, because it was Thailand first, and we were going to Thailand, so we were so nervous. Like Vietnam, Thailand had like 17 cases. We were like, oh, right, you know, like, but we're not stupid or anything. And then all of a sudden, the country we live,
became like the 2nd highest rate.
Yes, so
next to China. Like I remember they were like, it's China and then Korea.
Yes.
I was stressed. I was stressed.
And you came back before the rest of us did. So
I came back because my flight to Hong Kong, because I was supposed to go to Hong Kong. My flight from the Philippines to Hong Kong got cancelled. So that's when I was just like, I stuck in the Philippines for the rest of my life. Legit, I was like, what do I even do now? Like, I was emailing, I didn't even tell you, like, I was emailing people like, okay, I need to be put on a different flight, blah, blah, blah. I emailed the elephant sanctuary.
You did?
What did
Yeah.
you say? What? I didn't know that she did that either. What did you say?
I was like, my flight is cancelled. Like, oh my god, my flight is cancelled. I'm scared. I'm gonna be stuck. And they were like, okay, thank you for informing us. How can we help?
Yeah.
That was
And
so
it says
nice of that.
elephant sanctuary.
Yeah.
How can you help?
We're gonna send out some elephants to come in.
Elephants to come, yeah, you know.
At least they're riding in the airport.
Right.
I didn't realize. I forgot to tell you, lot. Yeah, I emailed the elephant sanctuary. I was like, bro.
Oh my god. Okay, so what was quarantine like for you? Because you were pretty much on your own.
Hell on earth. It was bad. It was bad. Worst thing is when I got back, it was like snowing. So I just came from like 38-degree weather to snow. So there's that. And then I was like, am I even gonna be let into the country? Because Korea, they don't play. I was like, if I don't get back, then I'm literally never gonna come back. Like, they're not gonna let me back into the country. Luckily it was okay because I have like a resident card, so it was easy for me to go in. But if you wasn't a resident, you had to go a different way. Like, they're not letting you in like the normal way and stuff like that. But even going through airports, we had to keep like getting like tested our temperatures and stuff. Even now, to be honest. What else? But yeah, being back here was horrible. I wasn't allowed to go out. They told me to order food. If I did go out, I literally was out like maybe 10 minutes in like the space of like a week and a half. It was horrible. It wasn't nice.
I'm so sorry. This is gonna make me sound like a horrible person. I did not follow the rules. Like, as soon as I came home, I had no groceries because I wasn't home for like weeks. So I had nothing to eat, so I had to go straight to the grocery store and like pack up on stuff. And then I wasn't really heading in and out. Of course, I was wearing my mask and like being super cautious of like how much hand sanitizer I was using, washing my hands, changing my clothes as soon as I come in the house. But it wasn't that bad for me. I feel like we just saw each other as soon as we got back.
Yeah, pretty
All of
much.
us, yeah. But I mean, we were quarantining together in here, like in my apartment.
Literally,
so.
we would come here every night.
Yeah.
Movies,
Watch movies.
talk, listen to music.
Yeah.
Every night.
Single night. That is a peak
Yeah.
quarantine of every single
I
day.
just want to say, I'm just saying, I'm the only one that quarantined by themselves for like the 2 weeks.
You are, yeah.
She did.
Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You came back, and then I still had 2 more weeks by the time she got here. So I was enjoying myself in 90-degree weather for anyone who lives in America.
If you go by Celsius on this side.
I had to learn because they would talk, and I was like, what does that mean? When she got here, I remember you were saying like you couldn't go to cafes, like things weren't really open. When I got back, it was like any other day, just less people out, and everyone was wearing a mask. But it was just like any other day. It wasn't anything major.
I have to say that I would not have made it through quarantine without you guys. Like, I was a mess. My brothers created a separate group chat away from my parents to tell me to come home. They're like, you need to come home. Every single day, my brother would text me and be like, you need to come home. I'm like, why? He's like, because. That was it. That was the whole conversation.
B forward slash.
So I was like, oh my gosh, like, can I leave? I even texted our coordinator, like, as I was like at the airport, and I was like, is it safe to come back to Korea? Like, what can I do? She was like, yeah, no, I don't really know. But you can end your contract and leave and go home if you want to. And I was like, well, that was not reassuring at all. So thank you for that. But yeah, no, I was a mess. I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, like, why am I in Asia right now? Like, this is the worst time. All this stuff is popping off. And it honestly ended up working out for the best because
for all
Chilling.
three of us.
Yeah,
We're
chilling.
We are very lucky. Like,
Yeah.
I could say, out of a lot of people, like my friends back home, we are very lucky to the situation we have.
Yeah. We were still getting paid.
Yeah.
We were still getting paid and staying home. chilling
Yes.
together with our friends. We could still go places.
Yeah, like clubs weren't open, but like you can go to a restaurant, you know,
Yeah.
you could order food, you could go to the cafe.
Yeah.
It wasn't as strict as how it is in our three countries.
Yeah.
Luckily, out of all of the little cities in Korea, we don't have any cases where we are. So we're very, very lucky. Like there's none. So my mom wasn't worried at all. And now, at first my coworkers were all saying, "Oh, Kate must be so nervous because she's here. Her family must be so worried." And now you see America, and they're like, tables turn real
fast. Yeah.
This timeline of 2020,
Crazy.
This is the wildest thing I've ever lived through in my lifetime. Like,
way to start the roaring 20s.
yeah, seriously. But we lucked out in being in Korea at this time, and just the transparency from the government. Like the emergency alerts get annoying. But
Yes. When I listen to music, I'm like,
But like they stay texting you these loud emergency alerts on your phone to let you know like what areas to stay out of,
yeah,
where
the cases.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, every day, like literally like 10 times a day.
Every day. You got
all the time. Now they started the QR thing, so like,
Yeah.
because like bars and clubs and stuff are opened again. So if you want to go into like any of these places, you have to have a QR code on your phone. So basically they're tracking. It's like a digital footprint.
Yes.
So they track everywhere you go.
Yeah.
What was it like returning to work after being in quarantine? Like, were you nervous? How were you feeling about like going back into the work environment?
With the kids or before?
Altogether, both.
I was a little annoyed before the kids got back, cause just like they kind of that's why I'm taking my time. As foreigners in any country, unfortunately, you are perceived and looked upon differently, and you are treated differently. Not saying good or bad. It depends on the person's situation, but I just didn't want to have to travel and like put myself at risk when majority of us don't have cars. Majority of the teachers have cars. They get out of their home, into their car, and they head to school. Like I have to go on the bus, I have to interact with people. So I was a little peeved. And then once the kids came, my school is all of our schools are very small. So we're lucky in that aspect. We're not constantly touching and dealing with other people. But when my kids came in, it was interesting because it was just weird seeing them with all their masks.
Yeah.
And then like at lunchtime, you would see everyone have their mask off. It's like, oh, I recognize this
face.
part down, like your eyes. And now when I see people, even if like their hair is up out of the way, I'm like, oh, I know who you are. I know who you are. I recognize you now. This is that. But at first I was a little annoyed, and then I was like, whatever, it's gonna. It just happened that the outbreak came right at the beginning of the semester, the new year.
Right, yeah.
So I felt like Korea wanted to be the first country to put the kids back into school.
Yeah,
like that was their goal, regardless. Online, I think once they got all the cases under control for the most part, they're like, okay, time to get back into business.
Yeah.
So.
How did you feel, Haley?
It was okay. It was just annoying because the start date kept getting pushed back.
Right.
Yeah.
It got pushed back like three
times.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, school starts this week. Okay, no, it's gonna start in 2 weeks. Okay, next week. Okay, no. So I'm just like, dude.
And then only first grade is coming this week.
First
Fifth grade is
grade.
gonna come that week.
But when I got back into school, some kids were there because like their parents had to go back to work. I'm guessing.
Yes, yeah.
And then like a lot of the kids were on like online classes and stuff like that, so we had to talk to them through like webcam and stuff like that. That was an ordeal because we're teachers in real life. We're not like teachers online, so that was an adjustment as well. But I think we
We handled that. We body to go between like Zoom classes to like pre-taping classes and then like chopping it up, editing. I would be doing a Zoom recording class with the students in the classroom down the hall. Like I'm in my classroom, they're down the hall, but we're talking via Zoom or whatever it was, and that was just so much to handle.
Technical difficulties. My school Wi-Fi cut out a few times. I think I couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle the situation. But yeah, it was fine. Like when we first got into school, like I saw one of the students. I was like, oh my gosh, hi. He was like, whoa, teacher, Corona. So they obviously told him social distancing and blah blah blah. Now they don't leave me alone.
Mine were the opposite. My students were all in my face from day one. They're like, teacher, and I was like,
don't touch me.
Coronavirus. Stay over there. So one of my students said coronavirus, and I kid you not, in my head I only heard Cardi B's voice.
Coronavirus! I'm telling you, it's real! It's getting real!
I started dying of laughter in this, like the middle of this class. I started cracking up, and they were like so confused. They were like, why is this funny? And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Teacher, people are not.
That's what it felt like. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I'm not laughing at the virus. Like, if you knew who Cardi B was, then you'd get it. But never mind.
I'm glad they don't know who Cardi B is.
You'd be surprised.
Is there anything else that you guys wanted to add, like talking about what it's been like quarantining, coronavirus here? I think we touched on pretty much everything, like going out here. Now we have the QR codes. Our quarantine wasn't too strict. We could pretty much do what we wanted to do.
In moderation.
At the beginning. Now it's so much more lax.
Yeah, it is, but still a lot of things are cancelled, like the buses and stuff.
You can't. They don't want you to go to major cities. They don't want you in Seoul at all. So Daegu was the city where it
that was
popped off.
Where
it was like patient whatever 0, and she was just boom, 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 boom,
touching,
boom,
talking
boom,
to everybody.
all of everybody's
it's like the church
business.
people, though. The church people.
There's cults here. We won't talk about that right now.
Don't talk about the church. Church people don't matter. We're not mad at church people.
Oh no!
In
Go
general.
to church.
There was rationing masks here as well. That's
Yes,
There was like 9. It was depending on your birthday year.
Yeah.
You can only get 2. Then it was 3, and now it's like
now you can do
whatever. All you need.
But I think that definitely works because like if you look at all the other countries, people were like buying up
a whole bunch and then
making
trying to
it hard
resell
for
it.
people. We never run out of toilet paper here as well.
Yeah.
So what else? We never run out of hand sanitizer. Everything like
Soap.
it was even so everything was fine. Like my mum was saying that
Not even
no
food.
sanitizer.
Not even
Like I know that some places like the grocery stores were like sold out. Like we couldn't get anything we needed here. There was a point where like during that shift of like, you're in Korea, that's so scary, to like now you're in Canada, like that's so scary. Where I was like, do you need me to send you anything to my family?
You couldn't even send you wouldn't be allowed to send masks. Like if you wanted to send masks, you wouldn't be able to.
Really? I didn't know that.
Here we're fine because of where we are, but like in Seoul, like the things that were selling out the most in stores were ramen and curry.
There was one other outbreak that happened in Seoul, and our teachers started popping off because it was in a predominantly foreign area. So they were kind of like, oh, were you here during this weekend and this weekend? And like, even if you weren't there, because I wasn't there during this time,
Stress.
I still have to get tested. It's just the nose part that's uncomfortable, I think, but it is what it is. You gotta make sure that you're good.
We went to outside the station, the KTX station, you can get tested. They had lines right outside, which is really nice. Like it's very accessible here. That's what. And you get a text message like the next day on Kakao, negative, positive, whatever the case may be. And it's amazing. It's accessible. You can get it anywhere. They had drive-throughs from the jump.
Yes, from the jump they had.
They were
drive-through
prepared
testing
for anyone.
Korea was never like it was never difficult to get.
They've been waiting for this. They've been waiting for this. Let me tell you, the government were like,
We're on it.
Code red.
Like Kayla said, they were very transparent with us, and then you know what's happening on the news. They every day, even today, on the corner, the stats are there. Cases, recover, death cases like that. They keep you up to date. They want
Even
you to
now
know.
we only have like 200. Well, not only because it's still people, but like I think our death toll is like 250,
Which is
like,
very low.
Which is good out of like the 20,000 cases that we have.
We're taking care of people.
If you want to come to Korea now, you best be prepared to shell out money. You have to self-quarantine. So they have like facilities in Incheon airport, and it's 2 million won. What's about traveling when you can't experience stuff, like you can't actually experience the country? Like I understand the flights are cheap and stuff and you want to travel, I get it, but like come on man, safety.
Yes. And wear your mask.
Wear your mask.
I go to the gym every day and I wear my mask. I'm getting my gains.
Over your face as well. Wear over your nose.
Up to your nose, down to your chin.
Right.
Yes, cover all this. Wear your mask. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your body. Change your clothes when you get in from outside. Don't wear your outside clothes on the inside.
Wipe down your phone. Wipe down your phone.
Wipe your phone with some alcohol wipes. Yes. What else? Like we've been on it.
Brush your teeth and floss.
That should be a regular occurrence. Yeah. But like and like just sanitize your area. I sanitize my classroom on a regular basis.
Especially my keyboard. Especially my keyboard.
Yeah,
My
no.
keyboard.
Your keyboard and your stuff, but like also
fingers
with kids
all up in
though.
there.
Yeah. Anything that they touch, I don't touch. I haven't seen the bottom half of anybody's face in a long time. I think we got it all covered. That was quarantining, handling the coronavirus in South Korea. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Bye.
Bye.